Yo! New theme, old theme. We are back.
Y'all see him in the street struggling, young, dumb, and thuggin', give a fuck about nothing. Stuck at rock bottom, trying to come up on something. Pumping from sundown to sun.
What's guys, just here, welcome back to my channel. We're back with the reaction to House of the Dragon, the Season 1, Episode 2, The Rogue Prince. And I gotta say, I think I'm actually more excited for this episode than I was for the series premiere, as crazy as that sounds, but there was a lot of people excited for the series premiere. I'll tell you that much because it did crazy numbers, it broke records, a second season has already been greenlit, so regardless of anybody's opinion of the show, whether they like it or not, thankfully I like it, at least after the first episode, and it is not going anywhere anytime soon, so that's the reason why I say that, but I'm definitely excited to see what they do moving forward, especially knowing now that there's going to be more seasons in store, and I feel like there's going to be more than 2 seasons. So yeah, The Rogue Prince, based off this episode title, I feel like there's going to be a strong emphasis on Daemon, which is a good thing because I'm definitely a fan of his character already, even though he may not be the nicest person in Westeros, but I'm also a fan of Rhaenyra. Now I know her name. I actually recently bought, or I pre-ordered a Funko Pop for her from Walmart. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Once I get it, I'll have it posted so you guys can see. I went full House Targaryen after the first episode. I also ordered like a cup mug set with a coaster and a keychain holder too. All came together as a pack, also from Walmart. So yeah, I went off. I'm definitely loving this show. I'm definitely excited to jump right in and check it out. If you guys look for my full reactions to the show, link to my Patreon is down in the description below. If you are subscribed to the channel, now's a very good time to click that button down below. Smash the like button while you're there. With that said, let's jump right in. Let's check it out. Let's go. What the fuck? Ah, crabs. Oh! He's still alive. Man, stay away from that guy. He's got crabs. That's fucking brutal. I'm still learning names here. I know Viserys, Daemon, and
The
Rhaenyra.
last one was flying my banner. I want to seize the Stepstones by force and burn out this crab feeder.
I am not
Damn.
prepared to start a war with free cities.
What reason does the crab feeder have to fear us?
A seat at the king's table does not make you his equal.
Ooh. Bars.
I have acted, Corlys. The Stepstones will be
She's thinking something.
in time.
You have dragon riders, father. It would be a show of force.
At least the princess has a plan.
He's on board.
I only meant that we should at least...
Perhaps there's some better use for the princess's talents, Your Grace.
And he cuts her off.
Why don't you take the princess to see about the new King's Guard posting, Lord Commander?
I know they're sending her off, but I feel like that's still a pretty big thing.
While traveling through the King's Wood on his way to King's Landing, Sir Desmond recently brought a would-be poacher to justice.
You might thank him for his leal service, Princess.
We thank you for your loyal service to the crown.
She's still getting used to this too. Queen who never was watches on. Is this the one she was looking for?
Son of the steward of the
Yeah.
Lord of Blackhill.
You saw combat in the Stormlands.
Dornish marches, Princess.
She's intrigued.
I choose Sir Criston Cole.
Let's not be too hasty.
So to play the political game,
Against reavers from the Iron Islands.
Those men are tawny
she
knights.
just wants to choose who she thinks is
My
best.
father should be defended by a man who's known real combat.
Of course, Princess.
Well, let us plan Sir Criston's
I'm not a fan of
investiture.
Hightower. He gives me Littlefinger vibes.
The Valyrian capital was built into a volcano, much like Dragonstone.
It is truly wondrous what you've built.
She's getting close to the king here.
The glory of old Valyria will never be seen again.
And he drops it.
Tell me how, Miss Rhaenyra.
What do you mean?
But these days she doesn't say more than a few words to me.
I think she would open herself to you if invited. You do have such an easy way about you, Your Grace.
Otto sent her his way last episode. I didn't include it in my YouTube edit, but I was like, in my full reaction, I was like, is he hooking her out right now?
Yes, it's my mother.
There's no way. I thought I was stupid, but no, he definitely was.
My father offered
Or is.
I wish to apologize for the tenor at the small council today, Your Grace.
As king, it is my obligation to avoid war until such time it is unavoidable.
I fear that the eyes of our enemies are presently fixed on the Red Keep.
Do you have a specific course of action to propose?
Wed our daughter Laena. Unite the two great surviving Valyrian houses. You can show the realm that the crown's strongest days are ahead, not behind.
I haven't given marriage much thought.
Yet everybody else has.
Them apart.
Otto's already sliding his daughter in there. They ask you to talk.
We haven't spoken much.
I loved your mother. Very much.
As did I.
They're finally opening up. It wasn't much, but it was a start.
Today at small council,
Pay no mind.
I thought I might have had some insight.
You're young. You will learn.
Yeah, what they say, she's only 15. She doesn't be gotta be making these queen decisions right away. She'll learn. Ah! Those were maggots. Oh, that's so
I
gross.
held an audience earlier today.
I hate
About
this.
Marriage.
To whom? Your Grace?
The Lady Lena.
Such matters must be discussed with a small council.
That is what I'm doing. Presently.
Just not officially.
I do fear what Rhaenyra might think.
What does it matter, Your Grace? Her mother has passed. Her father must propagate the royal line.
Part of the process.
I dearly loved my own lady wife, and to be compelled to replace her for duty's sake. You are the king, but I do not envy you.
Getting in his head. Watch out for Otto, man. That's her there. We did see her in the first episode. Man, she's super young. She's a kid.
Your Grace, it would be a great honour to join our houses as they were in Old Valyria, so that we might strengthen the royal line and
Her parents definitely spoke with her.
Is that what your father told you to say? What did your mother tell you?
that I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14.
She knows what's up, what's going down.
It bothers you, does it not? Whether it's to my daughter or to someone else's, your father will remarry, because that is the order of things.
When I'm queen, I will create a new order.
Here is the hard truth, which no one else has the heart to tell you. Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
There will be a day.
And your father is no fool.
Oh, I was thinking for most of that conversation, like the hostility and animosity, but at the end there, I don't know. She kind of came back around a bit.
Was urging me to remarry.
I brought you something. I asked the stonemason.
She fixed it.
Very kind.
I think he's falling for her a bit. Yeah, there he is.
Your Grace, I've called the small council to an emergency session.
Why?
I think it best you hear it directly.
Very well.
What now?
Dragon's
Dragon's egg was stolen?
Dariloros Daimon Sikia Sida
Prince Daemon.
Daemon.
The prince left a missive, which I believe might explain.
has invited you to his wedding, Your Grace. It is in 2 days' time.
Sgoriodromon, Your Grace.
Oh?
Sgoriodromon, Daemon
Which egg did Daemon take?
Dariloro Belo Matsumbile.
Same that you chose for Prince Balin's cradle. Wow.
Assemble a detachment, Otto. I will go to Dragonstone and drag Daemon back to face justice myself.
Okay. Shit's popping off
My
now.
apologies, Your Grace, but I cannot allow it. It's too dangerous. Daemon is without limit. Let me go to Dragonstone.
Clearly he's got a plan in place. Is this just to win him over? Earn a favor? And you could say, hey, take my daughter instead. What a shot. There he is. With the egg, too.
Welcome to Dragonstone, Otto.
Your occupation of this island is at an end. You're to relinquish the dragon's egg, disband your army, banish your whore, and leave Dragonstone by order of His Grace King Viserion.
Where is the king? I don't see him. You've come for the egg. Here it is.
Take it.
Are you mad? To choose violence here is to declare war against your king.
Wonderful.
No, he's down.
The death of your unborn child and its mother.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Daemon. Stand down, Otto.
All of you, sheathe the fucking steel.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a choice. As soon as he saw the dragon. Yo. Okay. See the clouds moving too? I'm guessing she came on her own volition. And I get like a mix of vibes between Arya and Dany every time I see Rhaenyra now. Ryan the Dragon, Dany, 100%, but her attitude, Arya.
What are you doing here, Princess?
I'm right here, Uncle. The object of your ire. The reason that you were disinherited. If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me, so do it. And be done with all this bother.
Damn. He just throws the egg at her. Just want to create a show, I guess. Okay, we'll look back at Otto like, that's how it's done. You would have got everybody killed here.
You disobeyed me. You fled King's Landing without a word. You are my only heir. You went to Dragonstone.
And retrieve the egg without bloodshed.
I sometimes forget how alike you both were.
She got shit done.
Without her, the Red Keeper's lost a warmth, and I dare say it will never recover.
It pleases me to hear you say this, to know that I'm not alone in my grief.
I struggle to realize that my daughter had so quickly become a woman grown, but I know she understands what is now expected of me.
The king must take a new wife.
Y'all love that view, man. Or just chill up there all day, I swear. Alright, I'm guessing it's decision time. I feel like I already know his decision. He's gonna go with his heart instead of his head.
I have decided to take a new wife. I intend to marry
Look at Otto looking on. Drop that bomb!
the Lady Alicent Hightower.
I saw that one coming.
Four Springs End.
Oh, he's gonna snap.
This is an absurdity. My house is Valerian, the greatest power in the realm.
Your daughter is 12. That fucker won.
House Valerian's origins reach back to old Valyria. More ancient even than House Targaryen. Unlike every other lord of the realm, I can say that I built my house's high seat with the strength of mine own back.
He is spewing right now.
I've always thought of you and I as having been made from the same cloth.
Oh! I was expecting his wife or someone else to be there.
Wasn't aware you had a king for a brother. Did you call me to Driftmark to remind me of my low standing, Lord Corlys, or was there some other reason?
As soon as the king pissed him off, he went right to Daemon.
You've heard of the troubles in the Stepstones.
Back to this from the start.
A Mirish prince is feeding Westerosi sailors to the crabs.
The crab feeder is backed by powerful entities.
Crab feeder. We heard him mentioned earlier too. Oh!
I will not have Driftmark beggared while our king idles himself with feasts and balls and tourneys.
I will speak of my brother as I wish. You will not.
We are the realm's second sons, Daemon. Our worth is not given. It must be made.
Let's go on to the dark side. Yo. Holy hell. The crab feeder. Yo, he looks freaking nuts. He looks like Leatherface. I want to see a horror movie just based off the crab feeder alone. Never mind the rest of the show. Alright. Yo, he looks freaking nuts. Alright guys, that was House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 2, The Rogue Prince. And this was a very interesting episode. For most of the episode, it was basically, felt like The Bachelor, because that's basically what it was for the king. Like, he's Westeros' most eligible bachelor right now, and obviously he has to be married off, so they're trying to find an eligible candidate for him to actually marry. Some of the candidates, 12 years old, are you kidding me? Like, I knew exactly he was going to go that way too. I said right before he made his decision, it's either a head or a heart decision. He went with his heart, even though, or maybe his penis too, but as soon as he makes that decision, this one dude, he goes right, calls up Daemon. I don't even know how he reached him so quick, but man, that's the first thing he did. As soon as the king pissed him off, it's like, oh, you don't want to do that? Okay. Daemon? Like, my God. None of these people are loyal to the king, which really sucks. And the look on Otto's face after he made his decision too, and I gotta see, is it Allison or Alicent? I think it's Alicent Hightower. I think I heard a T at the end. Now I know Rhaenyra, Otto. I will learn. This is only the second episode, but regardless, the face on Otto, he's just like looking up like all smug and like the smirk, man. That was like an evil looking face too. At first I thought earlier in the episode, part of his plan was going to be to try to earn a favor from the king by going out to Dragonstone himself instead of the king. Be like, no, king, you cannot go. It's not safe for you to go. I will go. I will step up and put myself in danger's way just for you. And when he actually goes out there and they met on the bridge, that was a badass scene too. Daemon, actually, I gotta say too, Daemon, for the episode title, The Rogue Prince, we really didn't get a lot of Daemon this episode, which was very interesting. I'm sure we'll get a lot of them as the season goes on. Like, this is only the second episode. There are 10 episodes. And they are actually all listed here on Wikipedia as well. Thank you to you guys for actually letting me know that also, because last week when I was going through the titles, there's only the first two listed. So I was like, or maybe the episode title spoilers. Maybe that's why they're not listing them all. So because of that, I wasn't sure how many episodes are actually in this season. So you guys let me know that there are 10, and now I see in front of me here as well that there are 10 episodes, so much in line with Game of Thrones. I feel like 10 is the perfect amount of episodes per season, but yeah, the bridge scene. I almost thought there was going to be like a war breaking out at one point when Otto, he went out there, and then they all drew their swords, and we knew that Daemon was going to back down. Even he's like tossing around, juggling the egg too, like throwing it behind his back, catching the dragon egg, like performing tricks with it. Like, he does not give a fuck. I didn't really appreciate that, because what if he would have dropped it? Like, wouldn't he been more affected than anyone? But obviously it was his nephew's egg, I guess, also, which was kind of a dick move on his behalf. Taking that, I don't know how many eggs there are right now, but taking that one specifically from his dead nephew, like, come on, Daemon, that's a little bit messed up. I'm siding with you here. I want to like you, Daemon. You're killing it in regards to just being badass and being a side or a thorn in the king's side, but man, wasn't feeling that decision there, especially if he would have dropped it. But Rhaenyra, like a badass. The scene when she actually appeared too, you see the clouds. At first I thought it was like, what the fuck? Does Daemon have another dragon or another trick up his sleeve? But no, that was Rhaenyra appearing on her own and clearly going against the king's orders. He didn't even really seem to mind afterwards when he did scold her a little bit. How can you scold her? How can you be upset about that? Because she actually did a good thing. I guess she did put herself in harm's way, and the king did have a good point. Like, that is his only heir to the throne right now. Like, she should probably be protected, like not putting herself in danger. So I do get where the king was coming from in regards to being a little bit upset about her doing that and going out on her own. It's kind of for multiple reasons too. The first one being is she directly disobeyed his orders, but also she is the only heir to the throne right now. So she's got to be safe, keep herself safe. But seeing it all play out on the bridge, Daemon, man, I feel like she was the only one that he would actually listen to there. He was prepared to take out absolutely everybody else, Otto and his men, which I kind of wanted to see because, man, Otto, he's a dick. He got his way in the end there too. It kind of sucked to see it happen. I knew it was going to go down exactly like that too. I figured it was going to play out that way when the king called in his council and he was kind of just sitting there pondering for a second there. Then he turned his back and he looked over at everyone. I'm like, yep, he's going to go with his heart instead of his head. And this is going to really set things off here. I feel like regardless of what he did though, what decision he made in the end, who he actually chose, it would have pissed off somebody. Whenever you're a king, you're always put in that position where no matter what you do, whether it's right or wrong, even if you're making the right decision, it's going to piss off people who feel it's the wrong decision. So you're always going to be pissing off somebody. That's why it really does suck being king. And that's the one thing that Otto did say to him this episode also, which was true, but at the same time, he was also playing the king still, where he's like, I do not envy your position. So I feel like he does envy it a little bit because I feel like he wants to be the king, or he's more or less a Littlefinger type where he doesn't mind controlling things from behind the scenes. So yeah, if he's willing to pimp out his own daughter too, and that's one thing I wanted to bring up. I didn't even include that scene for my YouTube reaction for episode 1, where you're right after the death of the king's wife, or right after the king's wife died, he sends his daughter, Otto I'm talking about, he sends his daughter, Alicent, his way, and I was like, wait, is he hooking out his daughter right now, like pimping her to the king? No, he wouldn't be doing that. And it never ended up even including the scene in the YouTube edit for you guys, but I probably should have, because I thought I was wrong, to be honest. But yeah, he actually did that. So Otto, like, he's willing to do whatever, I guess, to kind of run the show or get in favor with the king, to gain some power, even if not necessarily he's going to be the one sitting on the throne. So yeah, he's definitely one to watch out for. I definitely got my eyes on him. But speaking of the throne also, we saw at the end of the first episode when the king nicked himself. Then this episode, man, there's a few gross out scenes actually. I'll mention the crab feeder after, but when he stuck his hand to a bowl of maggots, my God, that was freaking brutal, man. I do not do maggots. I did not like that one bit. And he's just chilling there after too, having his like little council meeting with his hand in a bowl of maggots. He's probably gonna lose his finger, I would assume. And that was all from the cut from the throne. Like, it got so bad, and the maggots obviously are there to take off the dead skin, but I feel like he's going to lose the finger, man. He might as well take off the whole thing at this point. We didn't see the lesion on his back either. I'm assuming that was also from the throne. And then I was watching one reactor. I didn't even think about this. And then it kind of got my mind turning, thinking a little bit here, brainstorming here. I saw the reactor mention that it was definitely a poisoning, that he was poisoned from the throne. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, I didn't really think about that. I just thought, from what I've been told, or what I had always heard, is that that's how the throne actually was. And even though it didn't appear that way in Game of Thrones, that's how the Iron Throne was always supposed to be, where it was so sharp that they would always cut themselves, nick themselves. But as soon as I heard the poisoning, I started thinking a little bit, because going back earlier on in that episode, who do we see on the throne besides the king? Daemon. And that one brooding scene when Rhaenyra's actually going up to him, and he's just chilling there like this. And it's kind of like brooding, like the light from behind and really dark going up. I don't know. He was the only one that was actually on the throne or around the throne. My immediate assumption would be Otto Hightower. I feel like he's pretty much going to be up to everything. But I don't know. Once I heard that from the other reactor, I think it was Duo Reacts, Lacey, that actually mentioned it. So when I heard that, I was like, poisoning, eh? That's very possible, but who would have been the culprit? And then that's when my mind started racing. I'm like, earlier on that episode, we did see Daemon sitting on the throne when he probably shouldn't have been there. Why was he there? So not only does he want it, but he could have been setting that up, poisoning, to go against his own brother. But I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted also, because at the end of this episode, we saw when he was meeting with the one dude whose daughter was declined, when he was talking shit, Daemon was like, no, you don't say anything bad about my brother, about the king, about Viserys. If anybody's going to talk shit, it's going to be me. So I kind of get that, but at the same time, it makes me wonder. Clearly, he is protective of his brother, even though he's going to go against his brother. So I don't know. It's one of those things where it might be like, if anybody's going to kill his brother, it's going to be him. So I'm still not sure in regards to the poisoning, if he was actually poisoned, if he wasn't actually poisoned, and if he was the actual culprit to do so, because I feel like there's a few candidates that it could be. We obviously got Otto, but Daemon was the one sitting on the throne in the first episode before he got nicked. And we saw later on this episode, his finger's almost completely gone. So it's in rough shape. I wouldn't be surprised if he was poisoned. And if not Otto, then yeah, my guess is Daemon. But I'm still not sure, because of the end conversation where I feel like he is protective of his brother, but he kind of wants to overthrow him. So I don't know. Daemon is definitely a complicated character. I mentioned that also last time around, where I'm like, he's going to be the antagonist, the villain of the series, but when it comes to the Game of Thrones characters, and I guess now House of the Dragon characters, you can't really say for too many characters that they're good or bad. Like, they're multi-dimensional. They have multiple sides. So multifaceted. I don't know what the word is, best way to describe it, but I feel like that's one of the good things about this show and Game of Thrones. All these characters, they kind of fall in like the gray area there. So yeah, I can't really say he is the villain, even though he is doing some villainous things, especially at the end also, when it seems like they're going to overthrow the king. They're definitely betraying the king. They're going to be following through with their own plans. So I can't wait to see how that all plays out, but I feel like there's another villain or somebody else that we have to meet and really take out first. We kind of met him, but we weren't properly introduced to him this episode, which was the crab feeder. Man, you remind me of like Leatherface at the end there. We saw him very briefly at the start of the episode, and then we saw the one dude whose daughter was declined, mention him also in their early council meeting at the start of the episode, but we kind of went away from it for most of the episode. Then at the very end, we went back to it, and man, clearly he's going to be a villain. He looks like he is pretty badass. I don't know what the fuck is going to go down with that. I'm guessing it's going to be Daemon versus the crab feeder, because now that one dude sided with Daemon. That's the one thing that Daemon has to do for him, or he's hoping to do for him. So that should be very interesting. I do see one episode here, King of the Narrow Sea. I don't know who that's actually in regards to, but yeah, now that there's a crab feeder in the show, man, I'm definitely super excited. I don't know if that's more in line with him or not, but I'm just looking at these titles here. I don't know if they're really spoilers or not. There's another episode title, Lord of the Tides. So yeah, I feel like we're going to be dealing with the crab feeder in the water quite a bit, so I'm not going to write him off just yet. I don't think he's going to be appearing for just one episode. I can't wait to see more of him, though, even though it was super gross, super brutal. Those scenes with the crab going through the bodies, the skeletons, and then eating that one dude's flesh alive. Man, would they actually do that? Yikes. I always thought they'd at least wait for them to die first, and then that's when they start picking at the carcass. But man, that was freaking brutal. But yeah, this was a very interesting episode. I feel like the first half of it was a little bit slow. And then once we got to the bridge scene, things started getting really intense from there. Once Otto actually volunteered to go out to the bridge, and then Daemon walking out on the bridge, meeting him halfway, that was freaking intense. Then Rhaenyra appearing with her dragon. That was freaking great. And then the king, it got super intense. It became like an episode of The Bachelor, but still, I'm here for it. They made it intense. This was like the most intense episode of The Bachelor, so that's probably why I liked it. And I'm someone that doesn't watch The Bachelor. I just see the commercials every now and again. I think it's still on, but yeah, King Viserys, he is the Westeros Bachelor right now. He's made his decision. Alicent Hightower, I feel like, man, she's a little bit like conniving also, but it's only because of her father. Like, she's given some looks, but I feel like some of the time that we have seen her, she's not really on board with everything. She's just kind of following the orders that her father has given her. So yeah, she kind of seems like a complicated, conflicted character also, which is pretty much the case with a lot of these characters. I definitely can't wait for the next one. The next episode is Second of His Name. So yeah, this series is definitely off to a good start. I'm definitely going to be looking out for the numbers also to see if it broke the records once again, because they don't actually have the numbers listed here for the premiere. Oh wait, yes they do. US viewers only though, 2.17, but if they broke records, man, worldwide, there must have been an insane amount of people tuning in. So I'll look at the US numbers alone, I guess. I could probably look up the global statistics also for the next time around, but I'm just very interested to see if the numbers keep on going up, which I kind of feel like they are. Let me know if you guys feel like it will be the same or not. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there, guys. As always, definitely let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys can like, subscribe, it really helps my channel grow. Till next time, I am out. Enjoy your day. Peace.
Well, I didn't smoke enough for you, didn't drink enough for you, wasn't full enough for you, wasn't good enough for you, damn. You play me like a yo-yo and shit. Well,